that makes sense. I'm wondering, are they anticipating integrating mulch, wood chips, or something like that to help to reduce, and black fabric and things? I mean, I
Yes.
find it works wonders for me, so.
See, there's mulch there now. And it was put in at the time of when we did the upgrade. That was actually part of the problem, is that when we imported fill and mulch, we actually imported weeds. Yes.
So the wood chips go into that though. So it was some type of.
It depends on where you get them from. If they can become contaminated at any site, but that is part of the plan, is to pull them off. See if we can get in plantings in areas where it's still sparse, to put in things like wood chips.
Okay.
In the medians especially. In the the 4 large gardens just south of the beach house. That's an area where we want to use for education, so it will just become a very naturalized space where we make sand. Sand's actually probably one of our best friends down there. We can have lots of rows there, except for what should be a native.
Yeah. Okay, great, thanks.
Okay, Councilor Wong.
Just through you to bring just a couple of quick thoughts. Fanshawe College still in the picture?
Fanshawe College will be back in the picture for next year. Part of the strategy is to hire. What I'd like to do is hire a landscape architect student or a horticulture student to help with our staff in reviewing not just these gardens but all municipal gardens, and set up a regular maintenance program for us.
Excellent. And the second part of that was I had occasion to be hooked into service by my wife the other day, thanks to Councillor Illman's Doors Open program. So I was heading down Grand Bend, handing out Doors Open posters and talking to the business guys, and they expressed concern about the planters on Main Street. They look kind of thrown together and overgrown. They don't look cared for. They don't, and I'm not sure if that's the look we were after. If we wanted, but they do look kind of, we're bursting out of the planter almost. So I'm just wondering if, was there any intent to add those planters?
Yes, that would be part of the program. And this year what we did was we focused on making sure they're weed free. We didn't focus so much on trimming them back. So now that we go forward, and as our staff learn, that'll just be part of their regular maintenance program, of trimming back as well as weeding.
Just a third one to a suggestion. You might want to ask a business to adopt a planter, because a couple of the businesses said to me, if you asked us to tend to them, we would do that. So just a suggestion.
Just a question through you to Dave, actually. Councilor, when you guys looked at your plan back in the spring, is this kind of incorporate the jurisdiction?
Yeah, I was thinking like using businesses to adopt a garden.
And then the beach enhancement part of it, where you're talking about moving some of the gardens around, is this going to work in with what you were talking about, work for the grasses and that?
Yeah.
They moved some of them. Councilor Scott.
Through you, Brent. You had indicated that you'll use return to the landscape.
Yeah.
Are we going to have them on a contract basis, like on hold, you know?
Well, I almost feel bad that we're taking advantage of it, because they're a not-for-profit group and they come up and they will work for free. So the way we've utilized them this year is we brought them up 3 times and they're going to come up 1 more. And they bring a crew of about 4 or 5 gentlemen, and they work with our staff, and a lot of it's working alongside with our staff and just pointing out what's a weed, what's not a weed. It's an educating program for us, but they do also, the same individuals also do run a landscaping contract business, and they're a very affordable company. So I think we're going to try and get a balance of retaining them and them on.
Thank you.
Councilor Russell.
Okay, so without saying anything about Grand Bend for a second, what you're actually talking about is totality, right?
Yes.
And this kind of goes along with the improvement plan and the recreation plan. This is just sort of a morphing sideways with using freer help. Am I correct?
Yes.
Right now, but to the point of getting us to that level where we can make some decisions now. Because I just look at the garden next door here, and a young lady. If you see her, tell her that I said the young lady who maintains it for us right now. The reality is she's doing a fair job on it, right? We've got some concerns here as well. The gazebo, needs looking
Yes,
at.
yeah, and that's part of it.
But in terms of the plantings, because I'll go to planting, because I love planting, and I think Elizabeth, the deputy mayor, makes a good point. Knowing how much you've got and how many people you've got to do it, and what you're taking on, we were told 3 years ago, I think, Councilor Ullman, we were told 3 years ago we needed another level of expertise because we expertise, but for example, the gardens here, I think in a similar state as this, they need that next level to lower the maintenance and fill them in a bit, which then you're not going to have that, what I call scarcity of product, whatever it is, mulch or whatever you want to put on it, and there's where the weeds will grow. So if we could use this example in other gardens, right?
And that's really the broad strategy is
Yep.
that
Okay.
we'll get two of our full-time staff two full-time staff, one from each zone that we believe are interested in this and get them educated.
Right.
The plan will be to hire a couple of extra additional summer staff next year in student form who are dedicated only to doing this sort of maintenance. And then a third student who will be going into more of a professional stream in their career, who is looking at landscape architecture or horticulture, and have that person be the one that does the review and works with our staff to determine, how can we do this maintenance.
Thank you.
Okay? Do you have a follow-up?
No, the only follow-up is just that, yes, it is a good report because it outlines a long-range plan. It's starting with something specific in Grand Bend on the beach, and then the idea is to expand so that we have, the whole municipality is going to be looked at, and how we educate our volunteers to work with these various our students, our hired students, and return the landscape people and things like that. So I think it's a great start.
Okay. So the motion is to receive and file, and I guess that includes agree with the strategy being presented. All in favor of that?
Thank you.
Carried. Thanks. Good. Good progress. 8.8, the Pathways Sound Start program. They're requesting that we continue on with the waiving the fee. Councilor Bonstead?
Yeah, I'm going to move the report. I think it's excellent. I like we're back on the procedural track, so this time is an exemption. It falls within the boundaries of our guidelines for community grant. So I'm going to move that we accept the report. I think it's been
Seconded by Commissioner Begg. Any other questions? All in favor of that? Carried. Thank you. 8.9, this is the Grand Bend SDF update on the project. And a report that we received this for council's information. Councilor Underwood. Second. Councilor Lonsdale. Questions on the report? Brent, do you have any comments to?
No, I guess the only comment is, as you can see, the ASR at the end of the timeline that we put in place is very aggressive and very fast. But we're happy to do that. It's very important for us to get this thing moving along as quickly as we can to meet the grant deadline.
I guess I have a question with the Dillon contract and the timing of, I guess, amending that contract. Would we wait until we know whether the Build Canada funding or the Build in Canada people have approved the change to the downsized or mini plant before we eliminated the progress of the contract?
Yeah, and in the letter that I've written to them, it provides us that with that flexibility. I've stated to them saying that outlined that we've done the review, that we're going to have to submit a scope change application to BCF, and should that be approved, we consider the project to be new, and the old project, the remaining two items from their contract to be not completed and deleted. And they responded back saying that they would be agreeable to that change should things move forward.
Okay. Any other questions then? All in favor of receiving that? Carried. Thank you. Treasurer's report, 8.10, the financial statements for council review. Councilor Dwyer, received it and filed. Deputy Mayor Day seconded that. Any questions on the financial statements? Councilor Russell? No. Councilor Dwyer?
Through Carol, did we ever purchase an excavator from this community?
Good. Janet, anything you want to add to the